In today's Leeds news, new Klopp Red Bull role, Dallas coaching role, Ramazani hard work continues, Frankfurt chief denies Kristensen move, and injury updates. Morning folks, welcome back to The View on Wednesday, the 9th of October with your Leeds United news. I hope you're all having a good week so far. We've got a little bit of stuff to get into. There's not massive amounts floating around. Some of it is either Leeds updating news. We've got some stuff on the Rasmus Kristensen offer yesterday, and it's the direction you probably think it's going to go, but we'll cover that at the end. We also have Leeds adjacent news tying in with Red Bull with Jurgen Klopp's new role, and we'll start off with that to Red Bull, which looks likely to happen very, very soon. It may never directly impact Leeds United with the makeup of the deal with Leeds and Red Bull with a minority stake in the club, but it's worth looking at on the possibility that it may, in some form, impact Leeds moving forward. Red Bull as a company have softened their approach to investment in football clubs. Their old approach under their previous leadership team was we only invest if we own. That leadership team has changed to a new leadership model, and that leadership model has changed its approach. It has taken up a minority equity stake in Leeds United, as well as becoming a shirt sponsor at Leeds. It has also signed multiple Premier League drink partnership deals with clubs there as well, which is a very, very sharp shift away from owning and investing to just investing in partnership deals that they have done. But it should still be a case that we should keep an eye on them and what they're doing behind the scenes. And it's the current leadership could always change, and that should be said out loud. So what about Jurgen Klopp, and why does this matter with Jurgen Klopp? Well, the former Liverpool manager has reportedly agreed a long-term contract to become Red Bull Football's new global head of soccer. According to Angus Kinnear and the Yorkshire Evening Post, they've all clarified this. There isn't a possibility right now of Red Bull increasing their stake in Leeds United. There's no vehicle, there's no option to increase the investment. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but there's no vehicle there for it right now. But that doesn't mean Leeds can't lean in to some of what Red Bull positive stuff that they can give them, mainly their scouting network and their extensive global scouting network, which is viewed as one of the best in world football, as well as their incredible youth systems they've got as well, that's produced player after player after player that they've sold and gone all over the world. It should be a possibility of Leeds leaning into that. They've already leaned into the scouting slightly if you look at the links to the African player that Leeds were a couple of months ago. And this is where the crossover with Jurgen Klopp looks like it may come in. Klopp has won everything in world football. Premier League, Champions Leagues, FA Cup, League Cup, World Club Cups, Super Cups, all of it. And has now moved into this role. He will take up his new role on the 1st of January. And according to Red Bull, they say that he will be responsible at a strategic management level across Red Bull's global soccer network. Now, Leeds are a second party in that. This would cover their first party clubs like Red Bull Leipzig and Salzburg and all of them. You do believe that Leeds could still get some benefit from this as well, if there's a possibility of taking some lessons from a manager of the level of Jurgen Klopp in this role. Specifically, there is also rumoured to be an exit clause in the deal that he has with Red Bull that will allow him to move for the German national team job should that become available and they have interest in him. Sticking with internationals, I suppose, we're in the international duty week and we'll talk about Stuart Dallas. And this time last month during the international break, we thought we saw the early beginnings of what would be Stuart Dallas's coaching career when we saw him working with the Northern Irish senior men's national side during the international break. Well, it now appears that Dallas is absolutely taking his next step in football, and it is into coaching. Dallas has now been spotted working as part of the staff of the Northern Ireland under-21s national side alongside former Northern Irish international Tommy Wright. The Northern Ireland under-21 side will play Azerbaijan and Luxembourg this week, and Dallas is expected to take up a role in the dugout this week. Dallas has also dabbled in some media work as well, and when he's worked for LUTV and Sky Sports News, I've really enjoyed listening to him. He's very coherent, he doesn't ramble, he's very clear, concise, understands what he's saying, and of all of the pundits that LUTV get in their studio, Stuart Dallas by far for me is probably one of the best ones, just in terms of the ability to coherently articulate a point or an answer to a question. So less rambling from Dallas and a lot more. I'm delighted with this. I really am delighted to see him making his way into coaching. I think he'll add an awful lot. He's a great guy, good head on his shoulders, and hopefully we'll see him at Leeds at some point in the future in a coaching role. During the international break as well, some players have been given the option of taking some time off. Daniel Farke has been very mindful that his squad has looked a little bit leggy in the last couple of games, and one player who's taken up this is largely Ramazani to continue his training and his work to get better during this break in some warm weather training. Ramazani has taken to social media to show that he's continuing the hard work to get up to speed in the championship and the demands that the championship will bring over the course of this season, and it's slightly more warmer weather environment that he's chosen to do this in. Ramazani has been pictured on his social media working in Dubai working through specialized strength and conditioning work with a coach that specializes in this work. The coach he's working with is set in players who want more explosive power in their game. Or at least that is according to his bio. Ramazani has been electric for Leeds United so far, and he's starting to show off some of the characteristics Daniel Farke talked about when he talked about bringing players into Leeds. They had to have a certain character that would come into the dressing room, and Ramazani has taken this break where he could have a rest in some warm weather to double down and do more hard work to get himself up to speed in the Championship. Ramazani's been criticised in Spain of not having the ability to get through 90 minutes, but the kind of player he is very explosive, and I'm all for a player who gives you absolutely everything for as long as they can give it to you and then comes off the pitch for somebody else. But he clearly seems to be keen to get himself in a position where he can play back-to-back games in a Championship where Tuesday, Friday, Saturdays, all these weird combinations of fixtures that Leeds will have thrown him over the year, and he appears to be getting ready to last 90 minutes in those games as well, which is great to see. I love this. Love to see these players doing extra work, and this is the character that Farke talked about extensively during the summer break. Moving on to the main story today, and this is the one that relates to Rasmus Kristensen, and it didn't take long. It really didn't, did it? After reports from Sky Sports Germany reporter Florian Plettenberg came out yesterday stating that Leeds United and Frankfurt were in negotiations and were turning his loan move into a permanent move, now appears that he may have gone a little bit early. Now, Florian Plettenberg has a very decent track record in exclusive, so we'll give him the benefit of doubt on this, and he may have gone early and he may not be wrong. That's what should be said, I suppose, in this case. Football News in Germany has spoken to Frankfurt's sporting director Timo Hardung, and he's been very complimentary about Rasmus Kristensen. The story about Christensen's loan being made permanent was also put to him by Football News, and Harding denied that the club had made an offer for the player. Speaking with Football News, Hardung said the following: Rasmus has arrived very well with us. We are very happy he is here with us. I also think he's really enjoying being here. Of course, we are considering what role he could play at Eintracht Frankfurt into the future and whether he can become part of this team. But we haven't decided anything just yet. Despite them not deciding anything yet, and they clearly haven't ruled out the possibility, and they are clearly looking at that option as well. The option can be picked up at any point, but it won't become a real factor until January when the window opens and the player can actually move. Leeds can negotiate and agree this deal beforehand with Frankfurt, but he won't move until January. So there is some time. There could be negotiations happening behind the scene, and as everyone has said in the comments yesterday, and I would have to agree with this, likely conversations happening behind the scenes are lowering that option to buy from 10 to 15 million to probably 7 to 8 million quid. We'll have to see if that transpires to be the case, but it looks like that's probably what's going on. I wouldn't be downbeat about this. I got a little excited yesterday about seeing one of the last two exiles to leave. But it may still happen, and it looks like it may still be something that they're looking at. They were very happy with him. He did score and get an assist in the Europa League game when they were 3-1 up when he came off, and they drew 3-3, but he was gone off the pitch by that stage. So he is making an impact there that they're happy with. He wasn't great against Bayern Munich, yes, but when they play the 5 at the back and he's a wing back, he seems to do very, very, very well there. And he did well there for AS Roma last year as well, it should be said, in that position. So it's clearly a position there for him if they can get a deal done. And then really briefly, just in an update to the players that have remained at Thorpe Arch this week and are recouping their injuries, with some concern around Manor Solomon's location. At this camp, nobody seemed to know where Manor Solomon was. He was called up by the Israeli national side. Leeds have confirmed he's not going on international duty because of his injury record. But they found him. He has turned up. He's at Thorpe Arch and has been at Thorpe Arch all week. So he is going through the final steps, they say, of his rehabilitation from his injury, and is hoping to get back into team training this week and in early next week and be back ready to go for Friday week's game against Sheffield United. Daniel James also happily going through his final bits of his rehab as well, and hoping also to be ready for Sheffield United. But they have said that both players are going through the final sets of their rehab. Hopefully there's no reoccurrences or no additional niggles with this, but they should come back. No updates on Volber or anybody else. They have to have surgery, and we know that Isaac Schmidt is back and available as well. So it's come back together. They're starting to come back. Let's hope the rest of them come back from international duty in good stead, and we should be okay for Friday night. That'll be it for me today, folks. Massive thanks as always. You can check out yesterday's news down below or the season review so far beside it, and I'll be back tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. I will talk to you then. See you.